Hi, my name is Hayden Nitz, and this is
J. Todd Baker.
and this is our upper body resistance training workout for days 1, 10, 19, and 28. For this workout, we're going to need a bench press. You might need an easy bar, some dumbbells, and a bench, and a lat pull down machine as well. So the first exercise of our upper body resistance training workout is going to be the bench press, as demonstrated here. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is get our bench set up in the correct place. We don't want it too far away or too close because it'll make it awkward unloading the weight from the rack. So we have it in a good place here. We're going to lean back. Ideally, we want our eyes in line with the bar here. Makes for an easy get off and it won't interfere with the lift. So we're going to take our grip. We want to go about thumb lengths away from the start of the rough part of the bar here. So he's going to grab the bar and then we're going to lift off. When we lift off, we want to go down to about the middle of our sternum in a nice, slow, and controlled manner, and then come back up. Perfect. Things we want to look for is if our arms are too close together, we're going to be rubbing the inside of our body, and that just means you need to widen out your hand placement. And vice versa, if you're too far out, it'll feel not very powerful, so you'll have to move it in a little bit. We completed our lift, we're going to reach back and rack the weight. Okay, so from the side, we're going to grab the bar. If you notice his feet, they're at a 90-degree angle with his body, and that's kind of where we want to keep him to have a nice, stable base. From the side, we can see that the bar path goes down very vertically and then comes back up in the same manner. This is to ensure that we're using the correct muscles and not compensating in any way. So the next exercise in our upper body resistance training workout is going to be the dumbbell shoulder press. And in this case, we're going to be seated. We will start with the weights on each side of our body and we'll reach down and pick them up. Then placing the weights on our quads. With the weights on our quads, we're going to use our legs to kind of help get the weights up into the starting position. We want our palms facing forward and the dumbbells pretty much touching our shoulders. And then we're going to push up in a vertical manner and then come back down nice and controlled. And this is what it looks like from the side. Notice how we're in a nice vertical alignment here. The bench is vertical to just slightly lean back. We don't want anything excessive, and just keep that nice neutral spine and our feet planted on the ground. From the front here, as we can see when he's pressing, we want to return the dumbbells to the top of our shoulders to get the biggest range of motion that we can for the most muscle growth. Good. The next workout in our upper body resistance training workout is going to be the lat pull down. The first thing we want to make sure is that the pads are on top of the knees in a comfortable position to ensure that we don't go up with the weight as we're doing the lift. We're going to set our weight and then we're going to reach up relatively wide on the bar. We want to do this so we make sure that we use the lats and not our shoulders to do the movement. So we're going to begin by pulling down vertically, touching our sternum and then letting it go up in a nice controlled manner. Just like that. One of the things we want to look for is that we're not excessively leaning backwards as it shifts the load and changes the muscles that we'll be using and is not as beneficial for muscle growth. On the side, we want to see the bar tracking down and up very vertically, and we see a nice neutral spine here with no excessive lean back. Nice, slow, controlled reps just like this. Our next exercise in this upper body resistance training video is going to be the dumbbell lawnmower. So we have a bench here, and we're going to put one of our knees on the bench, and we're going to reach down with our other hand and grab the dumbbell. We're going to pick it up, and we want to make sure we have a nice flat spine. As you can see here, he was little curves. So we want a nice neutral spine to make sure that we don't get hurt. So then from here, we're going to take the dumbbell, we're going to pull it up towards our chest, as so. We want to make sure our elbow breaks the plane of our spine. Good. One more rep here. You can see how, again, his elbow broke the plane of his spine, and that's what we want to see. I'm going to stop it. Some of the things that we want to look for to make sure we're not doing is having any rounding of our spine and stopping short of the plane of our spine with our elbow. If this is happening, the weight is probably too heavy, and we need to decrease the weight a little bit. You're going to do this exercise with both arms. Always have the opposite knee and the opposite arm working at the same time. This is what it's going to look like from the front. As you can see, he's keeping his head very stable and still, no excessive rounding of his spine, and he's breaking the plane of his spine with his. The next exercise in our upper body resistance training workout is going to be the dumbbell curl. We're going to start by picking up 2 dumbbells in each hand, as shown, and we're going to begin curling. We want our palms facing forward and our elbows tucked into our sides and back. And we're going to begin by curling. Good. Some of the things to look for here is excessive swinging of the body or of the arms. If you begin swinging, the weight is probably too heavy and you're not strong enough to do it with just your biceps, so I suggest lowering the weight. All right, this is what it's going to look like from the side. Notice how we're keeping our elbow tucked in and back. What we don't want to see is the elbow coming forward like this to complete the rep, because that just targets the brachialis, and that's not the muscle that we're trying to work here. So remember, keep your elbows back, just like this, and try to avoid them coming up like that. The next exercise in our upper body resistance workout is going to be the dumbbell shrug. So we're going to start by reaching down and picking up the dumbbells. We want to make sure when we do that, we have a nice neutral spine so we don't hurt ourselves doing this. And then we're going to begin shrugging. It's going to feel like you're taking the tops of your shoulders and bringing them towards your ear and then relaxing them back down. One of the things that we don't want to do when we're doing this is look side to side. When we look side to side, we can strain our neck. So it's very important to keep a centered gaze to keep your balance and not hurt your neck. Another thing that we don't want to do is jump, as we see here. If you're doing this, the weight is likely too heavy and you need to lower the weight. This is what the dumbbell shrug will look like from the side. As you can see, he's bringing his shoulders straight up towards his ear and relaxing them back down. You do not see any excessive movement of the lower body to help the weights up, and you can see he's keeping his head centered and facing forward. The next exercise in our upper body resistance training program is going to be a easy bar skull crusher. Today, we're going to use a straight bar, as we do not have an easy bar, but straight bar, easy bar, dumbbell, kettlebell, you can really use anything. It doesn't really matter. Today we have a straight bar. So we're going to start with the bar on the ground, just like so. We're going to bend over and pick it up. We're going to make sure that our butt is as far forward on the end of the bench as possible, and then we're going to lean back, keeping the bar on our chest, like so. We want to make sure we have a very stable foundation here. Just like we do on our bench press, we want to make sure that the knees and feet are at 90 degrees, toes going forward. Some people like to bring them back, and that just really makes it unstable with this movement. So for the grip, we want it pretty close together. We don't want it too far apart, otherwise we start to incorporate other muscles, but this is mainly a tricep exercise, so we want to keep it nice and close. So just inside of shoulder width, like he's doing here, we're going to come down and we're going to bend our elbows, and we really want to focus on the elbows not coming backwards. We want to touch just on the forehead or the top of the head, as he's doing here, and come back up in a nice, slow and controlled manner. Common faults that we usually see is when we go down, so when he goes down, the elbows come this way. This is not the exercise. This starts to engage the lats, and we're really trying to isolate the triceps here. So come back up. We really want to focus again when he goes down, making sure that the elbows stay here or go slightly forward even, and really isolate the tricep in this exercise. Other common faults, coming too close to the chin or going too far back, also bring in the wrong muscle groups. So again, focus on top of the forehead to the middle of your head is where we really want to come down to. So we're going to take a look from the back here and see what it looks like. So again, we're starting with the bar on the ground. We're going to bend forward, nice neutral spine, picking it up. We're going to have our butt slip all the way forward to the end of the bench, and then we're going to lay backwards. Good position here. Make sure that the legs are at 90 degrees, as so. Nice stable base. Then we're going to come up with it. Notice how close his hands are together. A normal bench press might be out here, just outside the shoulders, as shown. But we really want to focus on the triceps, so we're going to move those hands in for us. He's going to go down in a nice, slow, controlled manner. And as we can see, there's not a whole lot of side-to-side motion. As he comes back up, we really want to make this a nice, stable motion so that we can really isolate the triceps. Good. And you see he's bringing it to the middle of his forehead, just like we discussed. You're doing a really good job here. And notice how his elbows aren't flaring out to the sides. He's keeping them tucked in like that. That's not what we want to do. We want to keep them nice and tight, just like he was doing before. As he does one more for us. And perfect. See how his elbows stay in, nice, slow, and controlled to the top of the forehead.